Imagine that there's a powerful and often forgotten secret that can bring you closer to God: fasting. This practice was even carried out by Jesus before facing great challenges. Fasting is not just about stopping eating, but a means of connecting more deeply with the Lord. In the book of Matthew, Jesus teaches us that when you fast, do not look sad so that others will see that you are fasting. Not something to show off to others. Throughout history, many important spiritual figures, such as Martin Luther, used fasting for mental clarity and connection with God. Luther fasted to meditate on the scriptures and seek divine direction, showing that fasting is an ancient and effective practice to strengthen the spiritual life. Theologically, fasting is more than abstaining from food. It is a sacrifice offered to God, expressing the deep desire of the heart to be closer to Him. Different Christian traditions interpret fasting in different ways. Some see it as a spiritual cleansing, others as a way of intensifying prayers for something specific. Each perspective enriches the understanding of the practice and allows each person to live according to their own faith. If you want to start fasting, a good first step is to skip a meal and dedicate that time to prayer or reading the Bible. This small gesture can bring great spiritual changes by focusing less on the needs of the body and more on those of the spirit. You can discover a new depth in your walk with God. After all, in a world of excess, choosing emptiness can reveal a path to spiritual growth. In the book of Zechariah, God asked the people of Israel a question: when you fasted in the 5th and 7th months during these 70 years, was it really for me that you fasted? Zechariah 7 verse 5. This passage leads us to reflect on the motives behind our fasting. It's not about following a ritual, but about seeking a true and deep connection with God. Throughout the centuries, spiritual leaders have fasted to purify their souls and strengthen their relationship with the divine. St. Augustine, for example, wrote in his Confessions about how fasting helped him overcome temptations and draw closer to God. This demonstrates that fasting is a practice of spiritual transformation that goes beyond simple physical abstinence. Fasting also connects with other essential aspects of the Christian faith, such as prayer and repentance. By fasting, we are not only seeking to see God, but also preparing ourselves to receive His blessings with a humble and broken heart. This act of renunciation teaches us about sacrifice and redemption. But what is the one thing that we should never do when fasting? Jesus answers us in Matthew 6 verse 16: when you fast, do not look sad like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces to show others that they are fasting. In truth, I tell you, they have already received their reward. He teaches us that fasting should be an intimate practice between you and God, away from human eyes and approval. Fasting is a practice of introspection, a time to focus on our relationship with God, not an opportunity to focus on our relationship with God. Relationship with God, not an opportunity to show off, as exemplified in Isaiah 58. True fasting should promote justice, humility, and freedom for the oppressed, showing that the practice goes beyond simple abstention from food. It should reflect a genuine heart and true devotion. When considering fasting, remember that it's not just about giving up food, but entering into a spiritual journey that can bring profound revelations and strengthen your faith in the divine connection. We believe that spiritual practices, such as fasting, are essential for an authentic life of faith. Through our videos, we seek to bring biblical teachings that help you to connect even more with God, to understand the value of these practices and apply them in your daily life. We want the divine connection to be a bridge between you, a deeper and more meaningful spiritual life. If you still don't know our channel, subscribe and activate notifications to receive inspiring content that brings you closer and closer to the Lord. Just to remind you, I will leave a link that may help you. Shalom.